Okay, thanks for joining us for Tech Tuesday today. We have Shana Miller here. She's from the Granite team, and she's going to go over some of her experience with accessible Chromebook apps or extensions or built-in, actually just the built-in features.
The built-in accessibility features.
And then at the end, I will share some documents that I have that have some free extensions. Some are they cost some money, but they're very, very cheap that we can access. And then we could talk about some of the paid ones if we want. But most of all, we're going to try to stick with accessibility and free little extensions today. Feel free to ask any questions through chat or go ahead and interrupt. I'll have my some headphones in my ear, and then I'll just relay some questions to Shana, because when we have the audio playing here, we get a lot of feedback. So I'll let Shana introduce herself and just have her get started.
Hi. So like Kent said, my name is Shana. I am the Assistive Technology Specialist for Granite School District. My background is as a special ed teacher for kids with severe disabilities before I started doing assistive technology full-time. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and get started. Chromebooks are fairly new to us in Granite District over the last couple of years, but they are one of my favorite tools. I absolutely love them. And they even, like all computers nowadays, have accessibility features built in, but Chromebooks have features built in that other PCs and laptops don't, which has been really, really helpful. And I'll show you which one that is that's super helpful. So first, we're going to start by going through the accessibility features that come just on the Chromebook in settings. So if you come down here to the right corner and open up your main menu stuff, you go to accessibility features. So the first, I'll just go down through these and then show you a few more specific things, and then I want to talk about at the end some other tools that you can hook up to a Chromebook. So first is Chromevox, which is spoken feedback. So this will read a web page to you. I don't know how this will work with our microphone, but we'll give it and see. Let me open the page.
Title Documents Google Docs tab.
And then if you hit tab, it says tab. But you didn't guess that. So it will actually move.
First line indented.
Okay. But if you start your Chromebook up here, and
Tab view. Similar. Edit text. Form. 8 bullets.
Okay.
Password edit text.
So that's what I meant by when you hit tab, it moves your box and then it will speak what's in that box. So the tab button is what kind of like scanning. It kind of moves you along through all of the text or boxes or pictures that are on your web page that you're trying to have read. So that would be for people with visual impairments, even people with have a reading disability or print disability. If those things are read to them, that would be beneficial. So that is called Chromevox. The next one, let's go to a web page. You'll open those. Now I'm just on the web store. Yes.
Can I ask you something about that? So that will read anything on your screen, kind of a screen reader?
Kind of like a screen reader, and honestly, I've only played with it so much, but we can, let's. Oh, I think it's I think I have Starfall on in the background, and I think it might be a monkey making noise. Hold on, I'll check.
Okay.
Okay.
Specs ready. Help app. Alert. Chromevox updated. Press Chromevox O. And to learn more about Chromevox next, browse as a guest. Owner. At the Chromebook link.
Okay, so right now it's
contact your Chromebook manufacturer link. Search bar. Writing training. Google Docs. Tab. US keyboard button. Writing training. Google Docs tab.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know. Yeah,
so really
specifically, but it's
kind of a voiceover for people with visual impairments, or?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay.
And I like that it highlights what it's reading
Yeah.
as it's reading it. That's nice. So the next one is also for people with visual impairments, or it may help others for other reasons, but is high contrast mode. So this kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like within Google Docs. Here's a web page browser. Here's Safari. Here's the little noise that's coming on in the background.
Goodbye.
Which is funny. Could you explain to them what's happening? Because for some reason it's,
not displaying on
transmitting
theirs?
it.
Okay, so yeah, can we take my computer and turn it and show it to them? Would that work?
Let me do this.
Okay, so the colors are inverted. It's not displaying on the mirrored image of my screen, but they're now showing you my screen. So
maybe toggle it on and off.
So I think it makes it harder to see the text, but
set it down. Hopefully we won't get any.
you can kind of see the difference. So that's a star file. It's a kid's website I'm going to talk about. Here's some other types of windows or documents so you can kind of see the difference. But, yeah. I know iPads will do that too nowadays pretty easily. Yeah, so
great.
that's high contrast mode. So under accessibilities, under settings again, the next one down is screen magnifier, and I've used this here for a student and it worked wonderfully. And this is not displaying either. So, okay. So I'm zoomed in, and if I just move my fingers around the trackpad, it moves me to that part of the window. So I can zoom in. So this would also be for people with visual impairments. On this Chromebook, I have a touch screen, so you can do pinch and grab types of things to make it larger or smaller, but you'd have to have a touch screen for that to be an option. Okay, so back up to accessibility features. So I'm going to turn screen magnifier off. These are very helpful when you want them, but they can get in the way when you don't want them on. Okay. After screen magnifier is automatic clicks. So automatic clicks is the one that I told you is built into a Chromebook, but I've never seen it built into a PC or a laptop. I don't know if that's just my lack of knowledge or if this is a fairly new feature, but this is super cool. So automatic clicks will, when your mouse hovers over something that can be clicked on, if it hovers there for a certain amount of time, it will automatically click. So if I turn on automatic clicks, see how my circle gets smaller? Is that displaying? Yeah, Awesome. Okay, so if the circle completely gets as small as it goes, that's when it's going to click. So if I put it up over here over a window, then it automatically open that window. So if I put it on that, it will automatically click. So this could be used for something like web browsing or for an on-screen keyboard. So that is automatic clicks. If you're using a PC or a laptop, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong or know more about it, a lot of times we've had to, in the past, download dwell clicker or clicker software programs to be able to do that. So to me, it's pretty cool that it's just a built-in feature. I don't know if other things have progressed and that's available now or not. But
can you adjust the time that it
I think so.
automatic clicks?
Most places you can.
I'm just curious.
So let me show you one more thing, and then I'm going to go into more advanced settings within accessibility features, and let's look at it there. So the last one, the last main accessibility feature, let me turn auto clicks off, is an on-screen keyboard. So an on-screen keyboard could be, on my computer right here, could be used with touch, or it could be used with a mouse. So I could use my touch screen. Did that display? Okay. So I can use my touch screen and just type on it if I was on a Word document, or you can use the mouse to click the letters, and then, or I'll show you another way or two that you can access the keyboard using the on-screen keyboard. It's nice when you turn it on initially, because then you can just use this button down here at the bottom to minimize it, so it comes up and turns off. Gets out of your way really quick and easy, so you don't have to go into settings every single time. Okay, so those are the main accessibility features. It doesn't seem like a lot if you've looked at a PC's accessibility features, but there are more options if you go up into settings in the right-hand corner of the accessibility menu. This will show you another, I don't know, dozen or so things that you can change or make accommodations with or make things accessible. So the first one is it will show the accessibility options in the menu. So if you don't want this menu to say accessibility right here, I think you can remove it. By chance you have a student who's, you don't want to have access to changing that, that's where you could turn it off. I like this large, I'll just start at the top and go down. This next one is the large mouse cursor. I really like this, especially when we're using cameras to track the mouse and be controlled by us by another access method, or if we're using, well, I guess we don't use eye gaze, but with the head mouse, which I'll show you in a minute, I like having the cursor a lot bigger. Oh, this high contrast mode was the same as what we did a minute ago, but you guys can't see it. Sticky keys. So right here is where we can either turn on sticky keys or we can turn them off. Sticky keys are a way to do shortcuts on a keyboard with only touching one key at a time. So let me show you. How to get in there. So if I want to, okay, so the way I got this keyboard up is I hit Control-Alt ? And that will bring up this keyboard, which shows you all the shortcuts, the keyboard shortcuts, and sticky keys that can be used on a Chromebook. So right now I just pulled up the main menu, but if I hit this Learn More, then this is a reference guide that shows you everything that can be done on the keyboard when it comes to changing the keyboard settings. So you can change one key to have a different command. I know if we have kids with limited reach of their hands, if they can't reach one side of the keyboard, but they can reach the other side of the keyboard, sometimes we'll reprogram the keys on the left side of the keyboard to work as a backspace rather than having a search key. So, or something like that. So you can reprogram a handful of the keys. This also tells you the commands right up here. It tells you what the keys do, and it will tell you the shortcut commands. Then, okay. So back to this keyboard. So I hit Control-Alt ? Not all at one time, they can be sequential, and it pulls up this. Now, instead of clicking on the Learn More, if I just hit the Control button, it will highlight all of the commands that go with the Control key. I was looking for a quick reference to give you like a PDF or something. I cannot find one for the life of me. I'm sure there's one out there, but I didn't get a chance to find one. But if you hit that Control-Alt ? This will pop up. And right now I've hit the Control button. So now it's telling me if I hit the Control button and then I hit the N button, it's going to open a new window. Should we try it? Oh, well, I think I have to go out of this
That's cool.
This is more of like a little training tool. Okay, so that was the control button. Now if I hit the control and the shift at the same time, now everything that's highlighted, those are the commands or the keyboard shortcut commands to do that. If I take control off and just leave shift, oh, I thought it, shift just capitalizes it, and I think.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So the Alt button, same thing. Here it shows you all of the commands that can be done using the Alt key. The other one is the search key, I believe. So there's the search key. So right now I only have pushed the search key, and then those are the, so now if I want to hit the Alt button down here next to the space bar, then that's how I could do a quick command for turning on my caps lock. So those are all the commands. I think it's just you kind of need to figure out which ones do you need, and then go look for those and use those rather than trying to learn a lot of them, because there are a ton. So okay, if you want to do sticky keys, one of the main functions of sticky keys is to be able to type with one hand and not have to hold down two keys at once. So if I wanted to capitalize a text and the first letter of a word, and I'm only able to use one hand at a time, if I hit the shift button, and can you see right over my right by my URL, there's a little gray box that popped up on the top left, and it kind of shows that the shift is highlighted. Can you see what I'm talking about? I can see it on there right here.
Oh yeah,
right
far
here.
left of your screen.
Yeah. So if I don't do, so I'll start over. So if I hit the shift key, that comes up, which means shift is being held down. And then the next thing I type will be capitalized. So that way you don't have to hold shift and push the capital or the letter at the same time. Same thing if, so I use cut and paste a lot within the database system that I use. So I don't know a lot of keyboard quick commands, but I do know this one. So if I do, if I highlight this by a double tap, I can do Control X, which is cut, but you can do, and then if I just hit Control, now Control's highlighted in the top left-hand corner, which means my control button's still theoretically being held down. Now if I push V with paste, then I can do it one command at a time. So I'm just hitting Control, and then I'm hitting V. So if you have a completely one-finger typist, they could do all of those double key things. If that makes sense.
Wow, great.
So, okay, so those, I want to go back to there was a few more things within the accessibility settings menu that I put on that main accessibility page. So that was the sticky keys that we just talked about. We talked about Chromebook, which is the next one down on the list. Some of these are the same. I think there's just only a few other options. Then there's the screen magnifier. So underneath that, if you turn it on, underneath that, it says there's a keep magnifier focus center of the screen. So that wasn't available in our other menu, but it is now. So that does give you another option. So some of the accessibility features are here and in the other spot, but there are a couple more in this menu, which you get to by clicking the gear for the settings inside the accessibilities.
Right, and that's interesting to see that that doesn't transmit when you do the Zoom.
Oh, it doesn't on there.
So it must be something built into just your monitor, which is interesting.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
No, good to know that.
Something to know though if you are mirroring it and need those features.
Right.
So, okay. Enable tap dragging. So I think double click on something to drag it. Automatically click. Okay, here's that. Automatically click when the mouse pointer stops. So this is going to be our timing for that. So you can make it, it's called a dwell. So you can make it a short dwell or a long dwell. Different kids have different needs for different reasons.
How much time do they have? Can you click on that?
Yep.
What the maximum and minimum time is?
Oh, so it goes anywhere from 0.6 to 4 seconds.
Oh.
That's some pretty good options.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
pretty basic, but that's a really wide range.
And you'd mentioned that in the Windows accessibility features, and I can't remember the name of it, but you have to pull it up.
Is there a way to
The
pull it up?
on-screen keyboard.
Yeah.
And then it's not called dwell time; they call it. I'll have to search
Okay.
for it and let people know
Okay.
later.
I know it was
Called
a
something
few
really
years
weird.
back when we were trying to use camera mouse with the computer we were trying to. We needed to install Clicker, the one we were using, Clicker. There's another place to do enable on-screen keyboard, play the same audio through all speakers and mono audio, highlight the text. How do you look at that? I don't know how to say this word. Caret? Highlight the text caret when it appears or moves. C-A-R-E-T. I don't know, folks. Sorry, but I'll show you what it does. Okay, so now that I have it turned on, if I go to a window, it puts a circle around where I'm at. So if I were to be searching for something on my cursor in the window, that thing must be called a caret, or however you say it. But anyways, it puts the circle around it to give you another visual cue of where your cursor is. Okay. Highlight the mouse or cursor when it's moving. I also like this one for kids with visual impairments or kids who are just learning how to use a computer. So visually tracking. So that mouse goes on. Is this showing up? The little red mouse?
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Ken's being distracted over here, folks. Okay, yeah. So that little red circle shows up when I'm there. I like that, especially when we start to use the head mouse tool in just a minute. I think that will be a really good feature to show kids where they're at on the screen. This last one says highlight the object with keyboard focus when it changes.
Keyboard focus.
So I think you can see when I'm clicking on the box, it's also highlighting the box as well as the circle. So I think that's all it does. I think it's just another visual aid support. Okay, so this is all of the accessibility additional features within the settings section of accessibility features. And we went over everything in this accessibilities menu. So it's pretty limited, but it has a lot of the really basic, needed, pretty useful stuff. So it's quite helpful. I've used it quite a few times in different ways. Do we have anybody have any questions up until now, or else I'll move on to one other thing?
Yeah, any questions? We'll give them just a second, but so far none.
Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, because Chromebooks don't take software, there's kind of this notion, they're a very closed unit. There's only so much you can do with it. You can't add software or other products or tools, but if it's a plug and play device, which there's a few that I have in my library, they work really well, and they've been really easy and quick to use with the Chromebooks, and I love them because Chromebooks are so inexpensive, it keeps the costs down. So starting off real basic, the first one, you can just use an adapted keyboard. So this is a big keys I think a lot of us have in special ed classrooms. The bigger keys, they're color-coded, things like that. So you can, even though there's a keyboard on the computer, there's a, you can use a keyboard instead of using that keyboard. For either tactile feedback, they need the bigger keys, either visually, they need the colors, placement. Maybe if they have CP, they're reclined in their wheelchair, for whatever reason you can't get the keyboard on their lap tray when it's hooked to the Chromebook, but if you use an external independent keyboard, maybe that works as positioning. So those keyboards work. So that's an option.
Somebody asked, this is Chrome operating system, not browser, right? Yeah, so Chromebook.
Yes.
And not the browser
but I'm
on
Chrome,
Windows or Mac or...
Correct. The accessibility features would be the operating system.
Okay.
I am using my Chrome browser, but that's not where we're finding the accessibility
Good
features.
question, though.
You know,
that's built into the operating system of the Chromebook.
I would have bet. I wonder what is built into the operating system. I haven't looked into that. So another adapted way to access a computer would be to use an alternative mouse. So you could use a little Bluetooth mouse, and so it'd be a regular size mouse with a regular right click, left click. You can use an adapted mouse. This is a little mouse I have right here that you can put your hand in this way and then use the roller ball. So this is a little tiny roller ball. This is great for kids with real limited physical movement, so they can click as well as move it. You can browse the web, or you could use an on-screen keyboard and do academics, word processing, emails, things like that. Basic communication if the kiddo have speech. We also have an adapted mouse that you can use that's based more on a joystick model or a rollerball model. So if those types of access methods work better for your students, then those are options. Another camera or another access method, mouse control access method, would be this is a head mouse, and this is one of my favorite new things. So the head mouse is a camera that tracks a little tiny silver dot. So on these glasses, there's a silver dot. The camera watches the dot, and that tells the computer where the mouse should be. This is super easy. It's plug and play. You don't have to do anything. There's no software to download or settings to turn on. So now I plugged it in, so now there's a red dot on my camera. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on Dwell Clicker. Your menus don't come up when the keyboard's up. That's kind of frustrating. Okay, so now I'm going to come back to accessibility features. Turn on automatic clicks. Now I'm going to go to a learning website rather than, you could do this with on-screen keyboarding. It takes some practice. But so you can put the silver dot that's on the glasses on a pair of glasses. We've had it on hats. People put them on a hat. You can put them on their faces. You go through dots a little quicker sometimes if you do that, but you can put them wherever works best. And even if you have a student whose head's always tilted, if you can do the side of their head, it doesn't really matter, just whatever position works. So now it's my silver dot that's controlling where the mouse goes. So if I wanted to go through this Starfall website, then I leave my cursor on there just long enough that the circle closes, and that's where Kent and I were looking at. You can change the timing. Do you guys need to hear what the kangaroo says? But it's pretty darn accurate. I like it. Even for really fine motor skills, you can do it, and you get better with practice. I haven't done this a ton, but kids have to have, and I don't know if this is a term. Are you an OT? It's a term. Fine motor head control. I don't know if that's a term, but that's what they need, is to have very fine motor head control. Okay. So this is one of my favorite new things. Pretty inexpensive. Can I say prices or probably not? This is around like $1,500, $1,400, I think. They're not that expensive at all, considering what it's doing.
The head mouse?
Yeah. I don't even know that.
900.
I was thinking they're closer to 1,000, but I didn't want to over or underquote it.
It's about $1,000. It's called the Head Mouse Extreme. They have a Head Mouse Extreme Nano that's out now. That's the Nano, a little bit smaller is all.
You can change. There's a good amount of mounting brackets that come with it, but really it's plug and play, which is great. And it works with any platform. It can go on a Mac, a PC, a desktop, a laptop, Chromebooks, no iPads, but
super accurate though.
Yeah, and I think kids have a pretty good transition. I think they can kind of easily maneuver into understanding how the technology works.
Yeah.
Eye gaze, I think, is a little higher tech, maybe a little more complex for kids. But this one, I just tell them, pretend like you're pointing with your nose or something, and it seems to work. So, okay, there was one other thing I wanted to show you. Also, this is another way to have students who need to use switches interact with a Chromebook. It's hard to use this when you don't want it on. It automatically clicks on everything. Okay. So what I'm going to show you next is also another favorite right now is the Swifty interface. That's just Swifty interface. Has 4 little toggles on the back. You can change to tell it what to do. And what it does is our switch that we're going to hit, this is the switch we're going to hit, it's telling the computer to take that switch and interpret it into an enter key, a spacebar key, command key, I don't know, the 4 options, but there's a few options of what you can do. We usually do spacebar or an enter key. I plug in this Bluetooth receiver to my Swifty. The Swifty is plugged in USB to my Chromebook. And then now this is going to control my transmitter and my interface in my computer. So if I was on a learning website like this one, I do have to put the mouse where I want it, because right now I'm not controlling the mouse, I'm controlling keyboard, hits, keystrokes. So now I've put the cursor over my wherever I want to hit, and then the kids hit it, and it activates it.
Kitchen.
So I like this one because I can have this. I can have this in my classroom and in other classrooms that I've worked with lately. We can have this plugged into a smart board, and this can go anywhere in the classroom. Same with the Chromebook. You can hook your Chromebook up to a smart board as well. But if you, it's just nice for positioning. For kids who can't sit up to a table for whatever reason, you can put this wherever they have access. So if they can only do a head switch or an elbow hit or the side of their leg, then you can mount this to their chair, and they can interact and help control things like that. So this is just a Bluetooth transmitter switch, and then a Bluetooth receiver switch just hooked into a USB Swifty switch interface. Followed all that. So, but I like that because it's a fun way for kids to control it who can't either isolate a finger to hit the computer or whatnot. But that just shows another way that Chromebooks are so versatile. There are Bluetooth options within a Chromebook. I personally haven't used them, but I think you could pair things to it just as well. Let me check my notes. That's about all I had that were the basic accessibility features, and then just a few other tools I've used with Chromebooks that I really enjoy. But if anybody has any questions for me, let me know. If not, I think Kent's going to take over and talk about some extensions for a few minutes.
Yeah, do you guys have any questions, or do you have any of your own experiences that you could maybe share? There's a couple people on. If you have any, we'd love to hear it, of course. But let me see. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking at the little chat. A couple people sending some things in, but no real questions. Okay, sounds good. Is what I'll do is I uploaded a couple documents. This is Shana's Chromebook. I don't need to be on camera. That's good. I can be crooked, right? Okay. I uploaded a couple documents, and to get to those, if you go to tinyurl.com/UATT Chrome. And this will give access to 2 documents. I'll show you the other link here in just a second. But these are some free extensions. And hopefully everyone's aware of extensions. If you're not, just let me know and I can explain them a little bit. But maybe apps like an iPad or an Android, an extension is just something that you can download and install. Some of them cost money. Some of them are free that you can download. My list that I have here are free Chrome extension apps. And it tells you how to install them and load them here. And it's very simple to do it. You just need a Gmail account. And some of the favorites that we've heard about from some of our teams across the state, we've separated them into some sections here. Text-to-speech, probably the best one that's free is this Speak It. Click on that, just go to the page. Whoops. Bad link. Let me see. Speak It's a pretty good one. It's a free little extension that you can add on. And you can select things on the screen, which will then read back to you or the student. I have to go in and fix my links for some reason.
You can turn that off.
So here is a Speak It. You highlight whatever's on the screen that you want read back, and then you can just hit speak. It's a pretty good, oops, sorry. All over. Anyway, it's a good extension that allows it to read back to the students, and very simple where they just highlight it and speak it back. I think there's just only a couple voices that you can have read back to the student, but overall it does a pretty decent job. A little bit more computerized or computer others that we use that do cost money. Of course, some of that is how you some of the costs. Chrome Speak and Select and Speak. These I have never used personally, but this is just kind of the top 3 or 4 free extensions. There is also Read and Write for Google that's on this list. It's a 30-day free trial. But after that, it's a yearly subscription. For one person, it's upwards of $145 a year. Students in schools can get special pricing. Depending on the school, it gets complicated. You could contact me or text help for that. But very, very powerful.
I have a Google Doc.
Sure that. This is another free extension. Sorry, a free. I need to turn off this keyboard. Let's see.
They're great features until they're on and you don't want them on. So you have to get rid of your keyboard.
I'll have to get rid of it first.
Yeah.
Okay, and to go into accessibility. It's not in that US keyboard, huh? Okay. So one way that you can do free speech to text, actually it's up here on the side here, but let me pull it up where is it in Tools, and then voice typing. So this is built into any Chrome browser. This is not part of the operating system, but if you access this in a Chrome browser on a Mac, Chromebook, Windows computer. You can hit voice typing. You have to have the internet to use this because it uses the internet to process the speech. But you just click to speak here. Thank you for joining us for our April TechTuesday period. As you can see, I should have turned that off. It's not going to be extremely accurate for some of the right. I need to be more patient. Is it still on? Oh, here we go. New paragraph. If I'm a little bit more patient, the speech to text will compare what is being said and correct the sentence later at the beginning. End of the sentence. So you can see it's not perfect where it typed patient. Anyway, well, let's see. So it will go back and correct things. And the iPhones and some of those will do that also, where it compares that speech and then corrects it later on. So anyway, so that's free built in. That's pretty good. It does, especially with younger students. Many people know Dragon Naturally Speaking, which is fairly expensive, upwards of $100. It does give you some more power to go in and correct things by voice, allows you to control a computer, a Windows or a Mac, more by just your voice, opening programs, controlling the mouse, all sorts of things. But for basic speech to text, and especially free, really, really great option here. I was mentioning for Google, which many people know, but I'll just explain that really quick here. I'm not going to spend much time on it. It's features. We do have another webinar that's up on our YouTube page that you could go and find. But once you install this, there's a little puzzle piece here that opens. And it has many, many, many features along with this. It's a very powerful app. But we have, I don't know how many voices will show up on Shana's computer. But which kind of brought me to this is it has a whole bunch of voices we can choose from, and they're very realistic, great voices. So, but they just kind of use this same speech to text from Google, and it's you just type on, you click here. So, Read and Write for Google is really, really great, but again, that costs on the free 30-day trial. So readability. So here's some reading comprehension. Sorry. Some of the most used reading accessibility there. Let me see really quick. Somebody had asked a question. We've been using an extension Open Dyslexic. And it works great on the web. However, when I'm using Chrome Doc, the extension does not work. The closest font I have found to what Open Dyslexic uses is Chelsea Market. Do we have any other suggestions? Julia. We use Open Dyslexic quite a bit, and there's a new one that just came out called... It's on, I can look it up on my iPad. It's now in, what's our favorite iPad app for text? VoiceStream. They have a new font. And it's something very similar to Open Dyslexic. Sorry, I'm just reading again. When you're using it in Chrome Docs, it doesn't work. I've heard of that same problem before, and I forget the workaround that they did on that. What were you saying, Shana?
I think I found it on the iPad within the reading board.
I think I asked the mom who's on our chat to clarify.
Sure.
Jen, where were we last week when we were up with talking about the equipment for your son? We found an open, what's it called? Open dyslexic keyboard, because I didn't know what word. You were helping me understand that it was a keyboard for those folks with dyslexia that are dyslexic. Do you remember where we saw it? I thought it was on the iPad too. I think it
Okay.
was so Read and Write provides an app, which Read and Write you additional words and 5 words at a time. The keyboard is color coded, but it has the open dyslexic keyboard as an option. So the app doesn't do nearly as much on an iPad as it does. But keyboard does have that. At least it's on an iPad.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen it mostly on the
iPad.
Okay. I've seen it on the iPad a couple times also. You found one, Chelsea Market. I don't know. That's a good question. We could look into that a little bit more. I heard of that a couple weeks ago also, that somebody was trying to have open dyslexic show up on their Chromebook and it wasn't working. And they had a workaround. I forget what it was now. One of my documents, readability. Did my other document? Sorry. Under readability. Nope. So one of my other documents that I have up there, I had told you to go to tinyurl.com/UATT Chrome. And then if you go put in a number 2 for a second document. Let's see what's on is, because I remember seeing that open dyslexic. Anyway, I'm looking at some of the others. You say you've been shows up. With that, but that's now look at changing web pages and everything. Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. She said maybe Eric would be great to have as a presenter. I could reach out to him and have him go over this. So that's a great idea. So you're saying that Open Dyslexic didn't work in a Google Doc, I think, but it looks like on here it's working on web pages. Maybe
Feel
it's
free to add it to my. You can add the extension and give it a try if you feel like you have time and you want to do that.
sure. 10 minutes.
When I Googled it, that's the one I found, is that Open Dyslexic.
Yeah.
15, 13.
Okay, let's see what happens here. We'll just explore, huh?
It's just like apps on an iPad. Just
Yeah.
start out and give them a try.
So let's see. Mostly just, I'm so scared to go to a web these days. What's a safe web page?
Wikipedia pulled up. That's my go-to.
Okay,
Demo web
that's
version
good.
is Assistive Technology.
That's smart. Because you go to Yahoo or any of the others, and that's kind of scary, isn't it? If I could find your, let me see if I can move this thing.
Yeah, the tab, that was covering up my tabs.
See, Open Dyslexic. The web page. It's good to know.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that we're there, but I think that was the thing that wasn't working in
Within
Docs.
Google. That's still really informative for the rest of us, though, but to know about that for across the other platforms.
Right, which
There's
I'm
gotta be-
wondering, I guess then it doesn't show up here, huh? And you were saying that you found, yeah, they're very limited, aren't they? The fonts that they have. Anyway, thanks for bringing that up. That's really good. That's interesting. And I wonder if there's a place that you can download fonts to Google Docs. Maybe a good Google search would find that. But anyway, so the extensions that we have, there's just a whole bunch of them. Speech to text, navigation. You can try these out a little bit later on your own. They're just some that are recommended. Here's some of the Chrome features that you showed earlier. Zooming, keyboards. Let me go to my page. Behind my Zoom pop-up thing. Just type it again here. The URL was the same as the first one, tinyurl.com/UATT and then the number 2. Oh, sorry. And then the first document, no number. Oh, that one. That's right. All right. Now I'm getting myself confused. So speech to text, some of the reading, it can help out. The simple highlighter, as you can see there, quite a few teams out there. I need to fix those. It will make it a little bit easier to read the page. Focus in on things, get rid of a lot of the graphics and images. I'll go change those so they work. Writing supports. I can't say I've tried many of these. Google Dictionary, I've tried. The one that I use personally on my computer, and I just have the free version, is called Grammarly for Chrome. And you can pay a monthly fee, but I don't do that to get some more features to it. But it will just give me some spell check options, and then it corrects my grammar, because my grammar is very poor. So I use Grammarly, which is a great one. It's not on here. I can add that. But Grammarly is a good one. Let me go back to the chat menu. Somebody asked, will the text-to-speech extensions work on electronic books? For instance, those checked out on Overdrive from the library. Do you know what Overdrive is?
Yeah.
Will text-to-speech work on those? I wonder.
To have the book read to you, or for you to give it input, where would you?
I think to be read back. Text-to-speech. I know with Speak It, if you can highlight it, it will speak it back to you.
I'm not familiar enough with Overdrive. Bookshare would be an option of a tool that would.
Yeah.
Learning Now does.
Sorry, I don't know Overdrive very well either. Speak It works similar to this read and write for Google. And maybe you already need
Offers
this.
a spelling and grammar checker, dictionary, synonyms, and translation tool to support.
So I don't know, if you could highlight it, I think it would read it back. Anyway, we could look into that. Math supports, not too many that we could find, just a calculator. Talking calculator, and then just some other basic things. So, and I'm sure there's a ton more out there these are just some that we've put together a quick little list on. Let me see if there's anything else on Eric's list that we might want to go over in the last couple of minutes here. Teachers, email. So let's pull that up really quick. I don't know too many of those.
Just from what I can find on the web, it sounds like Overdrive's going to need an additional screen reader software by jobs or something.
Okay.
From like basic Google search.
Okay. Shana said that from what she read from a basic Google search was that probably need another program to read back from, what was it? Overdrive. So.
But Bookshare is a free resource if they qualify for print.
Right. Bookshare, she was mentioning really, really great free, I was going to call it a program. It's not a program. It's an organization that digitizes books. It's free to anyone that has learning disabilities. There are some mobility, vision. What else? There's a couple others.
Yeah, print disabilities.
Print disabilities, right. Really, and then you can download books, put them on the computer and pad and Android. Oops, didn't type in. And you could contact any of the schools and the UATT Assistive Technology teams to help get set up on that, or you can contact USMAC, Utah State Instructional something media. I'll pull it up on my computer in a second. But they can help people get signed up for that also. Fairly quick and easy, but there's thousands and thousands of books, then you can download them in different ways. Bookshare is really great. So USMAC is up in Ogden, Schools for the Deaf and Blind. They'll serve anyone in the state of Utah of any age really to get set up with Bookshare. So the Utah State Instructional Materials Access Center. Something in there, huh? So anyway, so a lot of information there. We'll upload this so that you guys can view it later if you wanted to catch any of the things that Shana went over or any of these extensions. And let us know if you have any questions right away. Otherwise, we'll just sign out, and thanks for joining us today. So I'll wait for just a minute. Thanks, Shana.
Thank you.
That was really great. Very nice of you. Yep, thanks.
Real world, man.